In the sun-drenched savannas of Africa, where the wind whispers tales of survival and the relentless pursuit of prey, an unusual horror lurks amidst the beauty. Picture a cheetah, the embodiment of speed and grace, yet now it stands as a grotesque testament to the horrors of nature. A horrifying barnacle wound glistens on its flank, a bizarre and unsettling spectacle that seems plucked from the very pages of a macabre horror story. At first glance, you may question what brings such a horrifying affliction to this magnificent creature. But as we delve deeper, prepare to uncover a world where nature's brutality dances hand in hand with the grotesque. Barnacles, these unassuming crustaceans, are often associated with ships and rocks, but in an astonishing twist, they have found themselves a new home, the fur of unsuspecting animals. It is rare, perhaps even bizarre, but barnacle infestations can occur on larger mammals, including our agile predator. These malevolent hitchhikers latch onto the cheetah's skin, embedding themselves into the fur like grotesque ornaments. They feast not only on moisture and debris, but also on the very blood of their host as they burrow deeper, causing irritation and severe inflammation. The wound festers, a painful and distressing sight, transforming the cheetah's once pristine coat into a battleground of survival against its own body. This macabre relationship is indicative of nature's unyielding horror and beauty combined. What may seem like a random act of nature is, in fact, a startling reminder of the delicate balance between species. Such infestations are a cry for help, a reflection of a habitat troubled by climate change and human encroachment. The very ecosystem that once nurtured this cheetah has turned hostile, forcing it into a state of vulnerability that many may not survive. The barnacles, while sinister in their attachment, are merely surviving in a world increasingly dominated by humans. Our activities have disrupted the natural order, leaving these animals to grapple for their very existence, while inadvertently becoming hosts for creatures that would normally thrive away from such foes. Perhaps the true horror lies not solely in the barnacle infestation, but in the awareness that we, as stewards of this planet, have neglected. In a quiet pasture where the sun dapples through the trees and the gentle breeze sways the grass, stands a beautiful white horse, a creature often associated with grace and power. But today, this majestic animal is marred by a horror few could witness without feeling a shiver of revulsion. Upon its tender flank, a grotesque wound festers, a nightmarish testament to the power of nature's most bizarre parasites, barnacles. The sight is shocking, a patch of skin not just blemished, but grotesquely twisted, and covered in a battlefield of white, shelled invaders, clinging with a tenacity that seems otherworldly. One might wonder, how did this fascinating, and yet revolting infestation occur? Barnacles, often seen adorning the hulls of ships or the stones on a beach, are marine crustaceans that seek any surface to latch onto. Their journey to a horse's side is extraordinary yet unsettling. In this case, it appears a group of barnacle larvae mistook our noble steed for a mere rock in the turbulent ocean of life, attempting to anchor their muscular bodies on its unsuspecting skin. These tiny aquatic creatures go through a horrifying metamorphosis, encasing themselves in protective shells that grow harder and more impenetrable with time. Once attached, they feast upon the horse's living tissue, draining it of vitality like little vampires of the sea. Each barnacle presents a grotesque patchwork of hard and soft, thriving in an ecosystem of suffering. As the barnacles proliferate, the wound becomes a festering ecosystem of bacteria and dead tissue that could rival the most grotesque scenes from a horror film. Once the embodiment of grace and majesty, the white lion now finds itself the subject of a grotesque tableau, an artistically horrifying reminder of nature's duality. Its coat, a sumptuous white, once glistened under the sun like freshly fallen snow. Today, however, it is marred by the aftermath of a beehive wound, a churned mess of raw flesh and grotesque pollinators. This captivating creature, caught between beauty and devastation, invites us into a dark narrative, one that explores not just the lion's plight, but the thundering balance of nature itself. As you gaze upon this lion, you might be struck by the juxtaposition. Imagine a core of powerful muscles and sharp, formidable teeth now burdened with an unyielding army of bees swarming mercilessly above the open wound. Like tiny jets of malice, they dart in and out, burrowing into the gory flesh where yellowed, decaying tissue is exposed to the elements. This once fearsome predator, now a battlefield of varying shades of suffering, compels you to consider how even the greatest of beasts can fall prey to nature's capricious whims. The bees, those deceptively innocuous creatures, turned lethal as they created their hive, erupting into chaos when disturbed. It's a harsh reminder that beauty can be short-lived, overshadowed by brutality. Part of what makes this situation so disturbing is the nature of bee infestations. The initial injury is not made by the bees, but rather results from a lurking predator, another part of this grand ecosystem. As if orchestrated by fate, the white lion attends to a fresh kill, its powerful instincts momentarily clouded by hunger. In that fleeting moment of weakness, it brushes against a tree where the hive lies nestled, unaware of the danger simmers just beyond instinct's reach. The bees, relentless guardians of their territory, respond with stings that bewilder and confuse the lion, drawing it into their chaotic domain. What ensues is a brutal melee. The lion, now infested, may perish not from the initial wounds, but rather the infection, the resulting fever that can grind an apex predator down to a frail frame. As the cameras zoom in on the scene, notice the grotesque discord of the... In the shadowy depths of a lush tropical forest, life thrives with a vibrancy that few get to witness. The golden sun streaming through the canopy illuminates what appears to be a playful troop of monkeys. However, amid the joyful sounds of chattering and swinging, one monkey stands out in a grim and horrifying way. That little creature is a living testament to a dark reality, one that beckons the curiosity of both biologists and the morbidly fascinated, with raw areas of flesh visible through patches of matted fur. This monkey's arm tells a story of suffering that diverges sharply from the usual carefree antics of its kin. Horrifically, a swarm of insects has made this unfortunate being their home, turning what should be a vibrant life into something that resembles a horror film. As we venture deeper into this treacherous realm of nature, we learn that insect infestations are not merely coincidental occurrences, but rather a stark manifestation of a larger ecological narrative. The wounds on this particular monkey are a buffet for these opportunistic parasites, where flesh-eating maggots wriggle and squirm, feasting heartily in an orchestra of nature's cruel design. Each small incision is a theater of decomposition, where the living become sustenance for the thriving. The sight is one that many would recoil from, decay, disease, and despair intermingled, a grotesque ballet that highlights the darker side of evolution. The wounds on the monkey are not simply isolated incidents. They are emblematic of a larger phenomenon. Insects such as blowflies lay their eggs in open wounds, and within hours, delicate larvae emerge, burrowing into soft tissue, consuming it as they grow. A rather macabre race against time, this grotesque life cycle underscores the vicious cycle of nature, wherein life and death are intertwined in ways often overlooked in romanticized portrayals of the animal kingdom. This cycle does not discriminate. The loss of habitat due to deforestation and human encroachment forces these animals into proximity with their foes as they leave behind their natural guardians and enter a world rife with new dangers. Moreover, this infestation reflects the relentless quest for survival of nature's tiniest agents. Insects can thrive in conditions where other forms of life perish, showcasing their resilience like tiny in the heart of the African savanna, where the ferocity of nature unfolds every day. An unexpected horror lurks beneath the golden mane of a lion, with majestic stature tarnished by a wound. Unlike any other, this king of the jungle bears the dreadful burden of a barnacle infestation. Imagine a creature like this, imbued with strength, pride, and the innate power to command its territory, now painfully compromised, grotesquely adorned with crustaceans that cling with dreadful tenacity. It's a scene that jolts the senses, a gruesome yet fascinating testament to the unforgiving ways of the natural world, leaving us to question, how did it come to this? Barnacles, typically found hitching rides on the shells of turtles, and the bottoms of ships, have chosen a most peculiar host. Their hard calcified shells, resembling miniature volcanoes sprouting from the lion's skin, reveal an infestation gone awry. Each barnacle, a result of a reproductive frenzy, attaches itself with a grip stronger than any predator would expect. Through their specialized appendages, they bore into the lion's flesh, drawing sustenance. The lion, once resplendent in its ferocity, now suffers from the slow agony of a parasitic relationship, an unwanted neighbor with an insatiable appetite. Blood and infection mingle beneath the surface, as these crustaceans thrive in a symbiotic horror that only nature could conceive. As we delve deeper into the science of this macabre spectacle, it becomes clear that the barnacle infestation is not merely an oddity, but a reflection of the complex interactions within ecosystems. What may appear gruesome is, in essence, an intricate dance of survival, a stark reminder of the brutal realities that govern life and death in the animal kingdom. Yet, amidst this dark tableau lies a cautionary tale for humanity. The health of ecosystems is fragile, and our interference can lead to disastrous results. Overfishing, pollution, and climate change all serve to disrupt natural balances, allowing diseases and parasites to flourish unchecked. We must recognize that what happens to wildlife today may echo through our own lives tomorrow. So, as we ponder the lion's horrific plight,